Hello and welcome to another teaching from 119 Ministries. Our ministry believes that the whole Bible is true and applicable to our lives today. If you'd like to learn more about what we believe and teach, please visit us at testeverything.net. We hope that you enjoy studying and testing the following teaching. Many Christians believe that the law of Moses, the Torah, was given only to the 12 tribes of Israel. They think that God's law was never intended for anyone besides the descendants of Jacob. However, when the law was given at Mount Sinaï, there was a mixed multitude at the mountain. There were Gentiles who received the law along with the native-born Israelites. We see a reference to this mixed multitude when Israel left Egypt. The scriptures say a mixed multitude left Egypt with Israel. Exodus chapter 12. And the people of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Sukkoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. A mixed multitude also went up with them, and very much livestock, both flocks and herds. So, this mixed multitude is distinct from the 600,000 Israelite men with their women, children, and livestock. This mixed multitude also accompanied the Israelites to Sinai. Exodus 19. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the people of Israel. So Moses came and called the elders of the people and set before them all these words that Yahweh had commanded them. All the people answered together and said, "All that Yahweh has spoken, we will do." This mixed multitude was included among the all who said that they would do everything that Yahweh had spoken at the mountain. So, those who vowed to follow Yahweh's laws included not only ethnic descendants of Jacob, but also many others who were not ethnically descended from Jacob. In other words, Yahweh's laws are not the exclusive possession of any one ethnic group. They are for anyone who receives them, anyone who says, "All that Yahweh has spoken, I will do," regardless of that person's ethnic background. As we continue reading, this point becomes even clearer. There are several examples in the Torah where we see that the same law that applies to the native Israelites also applies to the stranger or sojourner who worships Yahweh alongside them. Exodus chapter 12. There shall be one law for the native and for the stranger who sojourns among you. Leviticus 24. You shall have the same rule for the sojourner and for the native, for I am Yahweh your God. Numbers chapter 9. And if a stranger sojourns among you and would keep the Passover to Yahweh, according to the statute of the Passover and according to its rule, so shall he do. You shall have one statute, both for the sojourner and for the native. Numbers 15. For the assembly, there shall be one statute for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a statute forever throughout your generations. You and the sojourner shall be alike before Yahweh. Numbers 15. One law and one rule shall be for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. Deuteronomy 31. And Moses commanded them, at the end of every 7 years, at the set time in the year of release, at the Feast of Booths, when all Israel comes to appear before Yahweh your God at the place he will choose. You shall read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Assemble the people, men, women, and little ones, and the sojourner within your towns, that they may hear and learn to fear Yahweh your God, and be careful to do all the words of this law. Despite the Torah's distinction between the native and the sojourner, both are fully expected to keep Yahweh's laws. Both are part of the congregation of Israel. In Ezekiel's prophecy of the future Messianic kingdom, the sojourner even shares in a land inheritance with the 12 tribes of Israel. In Yahweh's eyes, everyone who follows his ways is part of his people and shares in his blessings. At Sinai, everyone, whether Israelite or Gentile, entered into covenant with Yahweh. They had one law and one standard for everyone. The Gentiles were grafted into Israel and became fellow heirs of Yahweh's promises. Does this sound familiar? Paul uses this same metaphor in Romans. He says that Israel is an olive tree and that the Gentiles are branches grafted into that tree. Romans chapter 11. And even they, if they do not continue in their unbelief, will be grafted in, for God has the power to graft them in again. For if you were cut from what is by nature a wild olive tree and grafted, contrary to nature, into a cultivated olive tree, how much more will these, the natural branches, be grafted back into their own olive tree? Remember, the olive tree is metaphorically Israel. Jeremiah chapter 11. Yahweh once called you a green olive tree, beautiful with good fruit. But with a roar of great tempest he will set fire to it, and its branches will be consumed. Being grafted in and becoming part of the congregation of Israel is immensely important. Israel had 12 tribes, and every Israelite was a member of one of those tribes depending on who their parents were. You might wonder how Gentiles could fit into this tribal system, since they don't physically belong to any of the tribes. As we mentioned earlier, Ezekiel 40 through 48 describes the events that will take place during the 1,000-year reign of our Messiah. It describes a time when Yeshua returns and the first resurrection takes place. We are then all gathered together and brought into the land as we were promised long ago. The land that becomes Israel is massively larger than the land called Israel today. The land is divided up and given to you according to what tribe you fall into. The details are given to us by the prophet Ezekiel. However, those of us who are grafted in are not technically part of a tribe. How does that work? The end of Ezekiel 47 answers this for us. The Gentile or foreigner chooses which tribe they want to reside in, and that dictates their tribe's status. Ezekiel 47. So you shall divide this land among you according to the tribes of Israel. You shall allot it as an inheritance for yourselves and for the sojourners who reside among you and have had children among you. They shall be to you as native-born children of Israel. With you they shall be allotted an inheritance among the tribes of Israel. And whatever tribe the sojourner resides, there you shall assign him his inheritance, declares Lord Yahweh. This will be a very interesting time. So those that attempt to theologically separate themselves from Israel, and consequently the Torah, are confused about their identity. They do not know who they are. You are now part of the olive tree. You are now part of the mixed multitude who was saved out of Egypt alongside the descendants of Jacob. Now, you are part of the commonwealth of Israel, a citizen of the one nation under Yahweh. Ephesians chapter 2. Therefore, remember that at one time, you Gentiles in the flesh, called the uncircumcision by what is called the circumcision, which is made in the flesh by hands, remember that you were at that time separated from Christ, alienated from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers to the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. But now, in Messiah Yeshua, you who once were far off have been brought near by the blood of Christ. If you would like to know the larger purpose of Israel, we would recommend the teachings, The Lost Sheep, and Is the Torah for Gentiles too. We hope that this teaching has blessed you, and remember, continue to test everything. Shalom.
$119 Ministries has produced hundreds of biblical teachings, and now you can own all of them on one physical device. We're excited to announce that our entire video library in HD quality is now available on a flash drive. This drive can be plugged into your PC, phone, tablet, or anything else with a USB or USB-C port. The drive also contains written transcripts of our teachings for those who prefer to read rather than watch. Of course, we still offer all of our material for free at testeverything.net, but having a physical copy will allow you to watch our videos anywhere and anytime without the need for an internet connection. Having a physical copy will also ensure that our teachings are available if we are ever removed from video websites, which is a danger that ministries around the world are facing more and more. We want to continue to reach as many people as possible. Now, you might be asking, but what about all the new teachings released every week? Well, in addition to receiving all our past teachings, your purchase comes with free updates for life. Each flash drive comes with instructions that will allow you to easily download and store new teachings as they are released. Or mail us in the flash drive once a year, and we will update it for you and send it back at no charge to you. We hope you are blessed by this new resource. And as always, any proceeds our ministry receives goes right back into producing more teachings. Get your 119 flash drive today by going to 119flashdrive.com.